Good day. This is Mr. Weiss. This is the live stream for 8D, and it's the 28th of May. So if you're seeing this, you might have missed it and are seeing it to take some notes and get some participation points, even if you can't be here. For those that are showing up, I'll just invite you to say hello, and we will start up in a few minutes once we've taken roll. And I'm going to start with with a lot of review today, and also looking forward to seeing you on Tuesday. So we will be, I think, together as a group on Tuesday in school, believe it or not. Well, at least a third of you, a third of you, a third of you. So if you join me, say hello so I know who I've got out there, and I give you some points for participating. I just had my 7th grade, and I had about 80% of them, which was really cool. Let's see how we do in chemistry, 8th grade chemistry. There's Amale. Hello. Glad you could join us. And here's some others coming online, so a whole bunch. So I am guessing I'll get some hellos from you folks. There's Albert and Tara. Great. And I got theoretically a 4th person. We'll see if they can respond. If you can't respond, text somebody so I know you're theoretically there. I know a couple of you have to do this on handies, and it's difficult. So yeah, if you can't respond, let us know. There's another person or two joining us. Shvitri is hello, is here. Great. Very good. We'll hopefully get some others. And if you want to text your friends in 8D right now and remind them that we have a live stream, you may also do so. That would help me. The more we have participating, the better. And today I'm trying to wind things up, review some stuff so we really have you ready for 9th grade. And then we'll begin our last new topic later today and continue with that on Tuesday when I see you. Solomon's here, good. And a couple others as well. So tell me who you are, and we'll continue in another minute or two with some actual questions and review. Life is here. Good. Thanks, Life, for joining us. Okay, and just another minute, and then we'll start up. And again, anyone you know should be joining us. You can text them to remind them. That'd be great. So we get as many people participating as possible. Right now, I don't have that many of you. I got 6 of you. I'd like to have about double that at least, 12 or 14. That would be awfully nice. And let's see if I get anyone else who can say hello here. Then I guess we'll start up. Okay, so not only will I be seeing you next Tuesday, but I'm seeing you now. And I want to get some feedback from you, kind of like we did with, I think you were there when we did this with Mr. Rubelov. Ah, Elias is there. Good. Thanks, Elias. So I got 3 questions for you guys, okay? The first is pretty simple, and that is, with this Corona time and trying to do all this stuff online with all your classes, how are you doing with it? Kind of open-ended, but can you type something and let me know? Andy and Ethan are here. Great. Welcome, both of you. Yeah, so first question, how you doing with this online stuff with Corona? It's been a couple of months now. All right, I got an okay. Let's see some other responses. And I'm just getting the ball rolling here. Good if you have time to do stuff. Thank you. Okay. Pretty well. Okay. Good. Gotcha, Elias. Yeah. All right. The other question is, now that you've been at this a while, Sophie's coming. Good. Thank you, Shvitra. Now that you've been at this a while, this online learning thing, I want to ask you, stressful. Yeah, it can be stressful too. Thank you, Ethan. What, and I'm not looking just for a complaining session, but what feedback do you have for teachers? Not just me, but for all your teachers. I ask this because I'm on the Education Directorate Committee, and I'm just trying to gather in some information from you. So I'm going to read what you wrote in just a second, but for now, let me just kind of say this again. So what suggestions or criticism do you have for teachers in terms of online learning? Again, what suggestions or criticism do you have for teachers in terms of online learning? While you're typing, I'm going to read some of your responses here. Hi, Sophie. Andy, can you be a little more specific? Post assignments using a better schedule. Do you mean Google Classroom, or what do you mean that's not something you like, Andy? The teachers should be more organized so students don't have too much homework at the same time. Good thought, Elias. I don't know how that's going to happen, but it's a good idea, and I'll pass that along. I'll pass that along. Wow. Yeah, for classes twice a week, 3 times a week to do stuff seems like kind of a lot to me too, Tara. One platform, good. We talked about that at our last ED meeting. Thank you, Shritria. Okay, Andy, so because some teachers post assignments at very random times. Okay, all right. Yeah, I agree, Solomon. Hard if you don't understand the material that would do it all on something is due on Sunday. Oh, that should not be the case ever, Sophie. I will pass that along. It needs to be due on a weekday and not on a Sunday. That makes no sense. That would be probably not even legal. Not post homework at 7 p.m. Tara, when you ask not to post at 7 p.m., do you mean this is due the next day? Because I posted stuff in the evening before, but usually I have it due in like a week. So Tara, can you clarify that a little bit? Give all the homework on Monday because I never have homework on Monday or Tuesday. I get it all Thursday, Friday. Wow, okay. I'll pass that along. That seems like an easy thing. People have live streams at the wrong times. And I assume you mean, Sophie, times that are not when their class is meeting. Thank you, Moritz, for coming. Welcome. Moritz, we're in a discussion about what things work for you from teachers and what doesn't work. So suggestions, Moritz, you have. And I'm reading again what people are saying. This is all really good stuff. Thank you for sharing, by the way. Okay, I see, Andy, what you mean. So you don't always see things right away if they post it on weekends. And again, I don't think that's a problem if it's a longer due date. If you have it for a week, then you can just look at it on Monday and see what they want you to do. But if they want to have it done Monday or something, then that's not really fair. Okay. Could you make the live streams homework so it pops up? Yeah, I've been doing that now, Ethan, since the last class when Alex suggested that. So I'm doing the live streams as a homework assignment. So it should show up on the top of your Google Classroom from now on. So Hope I did that this time. I'm trying to do that now with all my live streams. Thank you, Ethan. Thank you, Elias. So we need to communicate better so we can build a better schedule, like not all assigning homework at the same day and spread it out maybe. Weekends don't exist. I found that too, Solomon. I do work any day. It doesn't really matter to me. It's weird. You still usually do homework on the weekends. Interesting. Okay, now let's see if Tara can help me here. So, I see. So if you'd rather have teachers assign it, Tara, in the morning, because then you check it and you see what to have to do that day. Tara and everybody, would it be a problem if a teacher posted it at night, but clearly made it, you know, gave you a long enough due date, say a week, where it doesn't matter whether they post it at night really or in the morning, you definitely would see it the next morning. I think some of you don't have to do things right away if someone posts it with a deadline of about a week, but you know, I think because teachers are at home, I don't know. I feel like we need the freedom to post it when we want, but you can't post something, I feel, and have it due in a day or two. You need to give students a chance to look it up on Google Classroom and have time to actually prepare it. Let's see. Post on Monday so you can make yourself a plan for the week. That's a good idea, Albert. Post assignments on Monday. I will pass that along. I like that idea. Okay, now from Tara. If the deadline is a week or a couple of days, that's great. Okay, so if it's a longer deadline, it's not so bad. Good. Now, I've had some criticism from teachers, and I want to just throw this to you and see if it's something you do, be honest, or not. Okay? And I realize I have a lot of, should I say, good students in this group, especially the ones that are here now, to be really blunt. So you may not have this problem, but some teachers are saying that their students wait for the deadline and then they try and do it all within a day of the deadline. In other words, they procrastinate. So are any of you procrastinators, or are you guys more, I want to get it done and get it out of the way right away? I see. So Solomon writes that some teachers are trying to return assignments on Google Classroom, which it says still missing, which makes it really unpleasant. Yeah, I would think that. I was told legally we can't give you feedback and exact grades on Google Classroom. That's why I have not done that. So I can let you know some grades on Tuesday when I see you, but I can't really do it over the internet. Let's see what else we have to say. Okay, gotcha, Solomon. Okay, and yep, and Andy, it is worth working on. It's a tendence that some of us have. Tara wants to get it out of the way. A lot of teachers give us grades. Well, I've been told not to, which is why I'm not doing it. It may be frustrating for you. Gotcha, Elias. Gotcha. All right. Okay. So we got a mix of procrastinators, which is honest with yourself, or that tendency, and others that want to just get stuff out of the way. Okay. Okay. All right. So nice to get some feedback. I'm going to try and find out when I'm at the next ED meeting, committee meeting, which I'm a member of in June, legally what we can do. And if that can be clarified to teachers, so I and all of my colleagues can know how much feedback we can give you. One thing I won't do is I won't write each individual student for each individual assignment. because that would be like 120 emails a week, and I'm just not going to do that. But if there's a group way I can inform you how you're doing legally without having some sort of Datenschutz problem, I would like to do that with you, especially in the fall. Let's see what else we're saying. Yeah. Yeah, I see. Okay, gotcha, Ethan. And for me, I'm really accepting about anything, anytime. I know some teachers are more strict about deadlines, but with this online world, I'm more worried about you just at some point seeing the live streams or doing the few assignments that I've given you. Okay. And thank you, Elias. So I'll keep that in mind. Posting assignments on Monday. I like that idea. Good. The last thing some of you have already mentioned, my last question, and then we will get into some chemistry, I promise, is what are, for some of you, if you'd like to share, what are some of your hardest challenges that you have with this period, with schoolwork and Corona and stuff at home or even at school? What are some of your challenges you've got? Alex is here. Thank you. YouTube. Could you be a little more exact, Sophie? Is YouTube a challenge, or is it something you like, or I don't quite get it? Social distancing, Shvitra. Yeah, hard to not see your friends and so on. I find that myself as well. Okay, too much homework in too short a time from some teachers, Elias quotes, yeah. Probably trying not to use Google Translate, maybe. Let's see. It's harder to concentrate. Ah, okay. Because you're watching YouTube too much of the time, Sophie? Is that what you mean? And Albert mentions finishing all the homework seems to be stressful. Yeah, okay. I'm going to pass on a lot of your comments, so I really appreciate it. Gotcha, Sophie. Okay. I really appreciate your interaction with me. Okay, like I said, I'm a member of that committee that helps to run the school, and I will bear in mind what you're telling me. Thank you. You can give me more feedback on Tuesday if you have some too. Okay. Okay. I'm going to move that aside. And so the people I don't have, Alessia is not here. I knew she wouldn't be here. She couldn't make it. Nicholas, Larissa, Alicia, and everybody else is here. Hey, that's a pretty good number. Good. Thanks for showing up. Let's do some chemistry. So here we go. I got my markers ready. I put my pen in my pocket. And by golly, here we go. Let's do a couple of ionic solid formulas. You ready? So this is a little review. So here's some atoms. And I want their ion if in a compound. And then I want the formula for the ionic solid. And finally, let's try the name today too for grins, okay? Whew. All right, we're gonna let's do three of these. Let's do three of these. Okay, so your two atoms, the first ones are Na and N, nitrogen, so sodium and nitrogen. The second ones, here I'll put that as A. B. B is going to be P and Li, so phosphorus and lithium. And C is going to be P and Ca, so phosphorus and calcium. Okay, so what you need to complete this, and I'll tip the board if it's too shiny. Now it's even worse. Okay, I guess maybe you can see it. All right. What you need is your periodic table, like I got here, and maybe even the one you did that you wrote all over that has the common charges when the atoms become ions. Remember, when atoms are neutral, they have zero charge, and that's a lot of the time. But when they're in a compound, they quite often have taken a charge. Okay, so first one, A, I need the charges on sodium when it becomes an ion and nitrogen when it becomes an ion. Can you look those up, find them on your little periodic table, and find me the charges on those? And Solomon says he needs to read those again. So I got atoms, I got ion, if it's in a compound, is the second one, Solomon. The third one is formula for ionic solid, and the last one is the name. So atoms, ion, if in a compound, formula for ionic solid, and name. Okay, so Na is 1. Yes, Andy has it. So it's Na plus. I can say +1, or I can just say plus. What about, what's the other one? Nitrogen. Nitrogen, 3 minus. Good. From Tara and Albert. Good. Okay, so N 3 minus. That's a comma here. Comma. Okay, so there's my 2 ions. Good. Now we got to put them together. Remember, we got to build something that's a zero charge, right? So how many of each do I need, and how do we write it as a formula? And see if you can put the positive one first. Remember, the cation comes first, the positive ones, right? Everybody likes cats. The cat comes first. So the cation first, how many? And then the anion. So it's Na plus and N3 minus. Can you build me a formula? A formula. And I'm getting some guesses. There's Alex. Solomon Tara has a guess. Good. That's fine. And I don't expect you to put the upper lowercase. Just type something in, okay? That's fine. And Albert, good. Let's get some of those. So I see Na, they're saying they need 3 of those. So the 3 goes as a subscript right afterwards. Na3, and then 1N. And notice when we write the formula, it does not have any charges, okay? Because it's now got a 0 charge. And reminder, it's a 3-to-1 ratio. I can add 3 million bazillion of those and 1 million bazillion of those, okay? So it's just a ratio. Good. How about the name? So can you try and throw out a name and we'll see? Think of what the atoms are called. And often compounds end in IDE. IDE. So type in your best guess as a name for this stuff. Yupper dupper. Yep. And Albert, in German, it would be 1 word. In English, we're going to have it as 2 words. So let's just write what a couple of you put. So sodium, nitrogen becomes nitride. So they change their names when they're in a compound, okay? So nitrogen becomes nitride. How are you going to know that? Experience, okay? I don't expect you to know it all right away, okay? Sodium nitride. Good. Can we do the next one? And the next one, I got phosphorus and lithium. Can you find me the charges of those ions? Who haven't I heard from? I haven't heard from Life. Life, find me a charge on one of those ions, either lithium or phosphorus. Okay, what charge does those families have? Calling Life. Positive, good. Lithium is positive. Thank you, Life. And what about phosphorus? And that is indeed, as said, we have figured out, it's 3 minus. Oh, I see something similar, really similar. So thank you. And Andy's got it as well. Good. Can you give me the formula? How about, I don't know, how about Andy? Andy, what would be the formula for this sucker? Could you type in the little formula for this guy? If it's plus and then 3 minus, I'll rewrite that. And how about, who haven't I talked to? Shvitria, can you write the name? Can you guess the name, Shvitria, for your part? Okay, formula. Who did I ask? Andy, I think. Andy, you got a guess at the formula? Andy, you're exactly right. She says Li3P. So it looks like lip, doesn't it? And is that, can you see that? More or less you can. Okay. The name, Shvitria, you got a guess at the name for us? I'll change colors for fun here. Got a guess with the name, Shvitria? Okay, I'm going to take guesses from anybody now because I'm not hearing back from Shvitria. And I can't wait too long. So guess for the name from somebody. Ooh, a bunch of guesses. Okay, so yes, indeed. And Elias, it'd be 2 words, but yes, lithium phosphide. Good. Lithium phosphide. Hey, pretty good. Pretty good. Okay. All right. Shvitri, you still there with us? Okay, let's find out. Okay, so I need the charges on these guys. Well, P we just did. Here, I'll write that. P is 3 minus. That's the same. Can somebody find me calcium? Calcium, what's the charge on Ca? And you can go, oh, okay, well, yeah, calcium. What's the charge on calcium? It's in the second family. It's right there. Thank you. Several of you got it, including Andy and Albert. So it's Ca2 plus. Okay, now this is a little harder one. Warning, warning. Why? Because look at that. I can't just take one of each. So how about to Tara? Tara, here's a challenge for you. If it's 3 minus and Ca2 plus, how many of each will make it add up to 0? What's the ratio? And then if you can try and turn it into a formula, Tara, I'll be happy about that too. So I'm going to put you on the spot, Tara, and see. So think the positive one comes first. How many of those? And then the negative one comes second. And how many of those? Everybody else can try it too. Tara, let's see if you can answer first. I know I'm putting her on the spot. And I gave her a tough one. We haven't done one like this before. So how can I have it add up to 0? How many of each do I need? Oh, Tara answered Ca3P2, and she answered exactly right. Dynamite. Okay, so she says I need 3 of these guys, and that would make 6 plus total, balanced by 2 of these guys, so P2. That's a hard one. Ask me if you guys got questions, because that is a really challenging one. You can see it. Okay, so Ca3P2. And while you're thinking of questions, let's see if you got any guess as to the name. The name. So blah, 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 blah. Okay. Well, how about a name from somebody? A name for that sucker. Yes, and try and put spaces in between the 2 words, but I think you got it. Yeah, indeed. Okay, so Andy and Solomon got it. So it is indeed calcium phosphide. Ute, questions on this? We doing okay? You ready to move on? Good, because we don't have that much time. Okay, I'll pause a little bit and really see if you do have any questions, and I'll tip the board a little so you can see there, I hope. Yeah, you can say triphosphide. It's true. But you know what, Solomon? Nobody does, because everybody knows that phosphide is 3 minus. So actually it would be, I could be really picky about this and say it's tricalcium diphosphide, but nobody does that because it's already balanced. If I know the name calcium phosphide means Ca3P2. So Solomon, I could put a more exact prefixes in the title, but almost nobody does. They will in 9th and 10th grade with some stuff, but not usually here, to be honest. Okay, good. Then let's move on. The next thing I want to do is, for Tuesday, could you be sure and bring these sheets I gave you last time? So bring the one on the periodic table. All right, that's that one. And the other one I want you to bring is this one. It says calculations in chemistry. So bring those on Tuesday, please, along with the periodic table to class. Then we'll be ready to go into our last theme of the year with chemistry. Okay, let's review redox though. So reduction, oxidation, reactions. Remember, RXN is short for reaction. Can you see that? Reduction, oxidation, reactions. Okay, let's take something between calcium. Okay, so example, calcium and oxygen. Okay, so remember, reduction oxidation has to do with what these suckers do with their electrons. Some things gain electrons, some lose. And you're going to have to memorize that the stuff on the right side, remember, they all want 8 electrons. Remember the octet rule? What do these guys do? Do they tend to gain electrons or lose if they're really close to the noble gases? So gain or lose. I know there's a lag time between when you respond and when I see it. Nonmetals, do they gain or lose electrons? Hello? I'm probably going to get all your responses right away. I'll wait just another few seconds. No. Okay, remember the octet rule? Everybody wants to get 8. Well, these guys, for example, oxygen family, they only got 6. So what they do is they tend to gain. They're going to gain 2. And other than the noble gases that do nothing, other than that, all these guys that are close to them gain electrons. These guys over here that just have 1 or 2 tend to lose them. So that's something you'll need to memorize, okay? The left side are the losers. Sorry, I don't mean it that way. I like metals. They lose electrons and these guys gain electrons. All right, so let's see what that means. Let's take Ca, and it's here. It's okay. It's gonna goose or gain. Lane, I'm sorry, lose or gain electrons. Calcium. What's it gonna do? And how many electrons? What's calcium gonna do? It's gonna think of it's like Bohr model, right? How many outer valence electrons does it have? So therefore, what will it do? loses 2. You got it. So here's how we write that. Makes 2 electrons plus, well, what charge does it have if it loses 2 electrons? Hint, we just did it up above. It's Ca2 plus. Hey, good. Let's do the other one. You with me? So it's Ca going to Ca2 plus 2 electrons given off. I think you're with me. Good. Let's do the other one. Oh, oxygen. Oxygen's over here. Think of it's like outer electrons. What's it going to do? It's going to do what? Gain or lose electrons, and how many? What's oxygen going to do? To follow the octet rule, it wants 8 in its outer, and Tara's already on it. That's cool. Let's see if some others respond as well. I'm guessing others are there. So we're going to gain. Well, it has 6 in its outer shell, right? Oxygen. So it's going to gain 2 to follow the octet rule. Yeah. So gain 2 electrons. And then it will be O, but now with what charge if it's gained 2 electrons? What charge will that sucker have? Yes, exactly, Alex. It's gained 2, so it's got the charge of O. You can look up above. We already did. No, we didn't do it. I thought we did it up there. Charge O2 minus. Thank you very much. Ute. Okay, so what does this mean? Good. A lot of you have figured that out. So this is, the 2 names are reduction, oxidation. I forgot my N. Reduction, oxidation. So which one is which? Okay, let me ask it this way. Which one is getting more negative? In other words, which one has its charge reducing? Hint, both calcium and oxygen start with a 0 charge. All elements have a 0 charge if they're just alone and they're not an ion. So they start with 0. Ca goes to 2 plus, O goes to 2 minus. Which one is reducing? Good. So this is my process we call reduction. That must mean the other one is shun. The other one must be Remember, find the one that reduces first. That's gaining electrons. That's I find that easier somehow. Okay? Shun? Thanks for laughing at my feeble jokes. I appreciate it, Elias. Yeah, oxidation, right. And that's the way of the world. Notice when somebody reduces, somebody else better oxidize, right? Okay, so let's write the redox. The redox reaction is a combination of both. So the redox, and notice I can kind of add them like in math class. And if I add them, essentially, who haven't I talked to yet? I haven't talked to Sophie. So Sophie, if I add them, what cancels out when I add these 2 reactions together? Sophie, what cancels out? Is Sophie there? I'm not getting a response. I'll just wait I'll not wait. I'll wait for anybody. Okay, so the redox is when the cancel out. Do you remember we did this last time in class? What's got to cancel? It's the same on both sides. I'm going to put a line through it so you can think about it because we're kind of running out of time here. I don't know what happened to Sophie. Maybe she went offline for some reason. That happens. So the electrons are the same on both sides, so they cancel out. Okay? What that means is I get essentially Ca plus O. That's on this side. Both of those are reactants, right? Reactants. Exactly, Albert. The electrons cancel. And look what happens now. Ca2 plus and I'll just write it. Ca2 plus O2 minus. That's my products, right? But those are going to get together, aren't they? Gang, what are they going to form? Let me tip that so you can see it all. What compound formula will they form? Pretty obviously, huh? What's going to form now? I know it's kind of weird me having two arrows, but I hope you'll forgive that. Once in a while, we do that in chemistry. I could write it all a second time, but I don't want to. What compound forms now between these guys? You can give me the name if you want to. So the redox reaction is Ca plus O makes or forms Ca2 plus O2 minus. But really, these guys are going to form, Alex, not CO2. That would be a weird thing. This is calcium and oxygen. So there's no carbon. It's calcium. Oh, Andy has the name. Beautiful. So calcium oxide, CaO. And she's right. Calcium oxide. Well done, Andy. Good. Now, notice when we put them together, we don't put the charges on. The charges are only to show what happens to make the ions, but once the ions get together, there's no charge at all that's shown, just like up here, right? Hey, look at all these guys. You could also write these, couldn't you, as redox reactions. In every one of these, isn't somebody gaining electrons and somebody losing? You betcha. So we're only doing one thing to kind of give you the idea of what's happening. We say the electrons are transferred. Now, I also want to caution you about something because several of you have this. I know you and I breathe O2, all right? O2 is an element and it comes in little tubes. But when oxygen is in a compound, when it joins with someone else, I can have one O, two O's, three O's, whatever. So I don't put CaO2, I just put CaO. And that means for every C, I got an O. If I got a billion CAs, I got a billion O's, same number. Okay? All right. Let me pause for questions from you. And I think we got time to do one last one. That's right, Moritz is here too. I'm going to ask Moritz something about this next one. Okay? All right, here we go. Let's do another one. So, between H and Br. Okay, now, here's my reactions. Now, the funny thing about H and Br is if I find them as elements, they don't come as H and Br, they come as what? So I actually cannot start with H. I can only start with the way hydrogen is found in nature and the way Br is found in nature. So it's H. I'm not plugged in. Hold on. My laptop is dying. Pardon me. Come on, get out of there. Oh, there we go. All right, now we got power. All right, I feel like you guys are a little lost. Okay, so I'll help you here. Hydrogen comes in twos in nature. Bromine comes in twos. Okay, hydrogen, it's up here. It's in the first group. What ion does it become? What ion does hydrogen become? And while you're doing it, what about Br? It's in this group called the halogens. What ion does Br become? Andy has it. It becomes H+. Well, check it out. I got two of them. So it wouldn't just make one H+. I got to say it's going to make two of them. You know what I'm saying? So each of those makes two of those. And Br is also diatomic. Remember that word? They come in pairs. So it makes what? What charge does Br take when it's an ion? I see we're about out of time. I'm going to rush this a little bit. It becomes Br minus, and there's two of them. Now, this guy gives off electrons because it's on the left side and loses, so it's going to lose one electron per hydrogen, so two electrons. This guy's getting more negative, so the only way I can do it is I've got to gain one electron per Br, so two electrons. Can you write that? And we'll try and finish it up on Tuesday. So again, I'll read it off. It's H2 forms two H pluses plus two electrons. And Br2 plus two electrons forms two Br minuses. And if you want, before Tuesday, you can label which one is oxidation and which one is reduction. Whoops, sorry, just lost my light. And that's going to fall over. Come on, stay put. Thanks for joining me. We're a minute late, so I'm going to cut off, and I'll see you on Tuesday in actual class. Thanks for all your participation as well. Bye-bye.